Hey! Hey. Funny seeing you here so soon. I blinked. I didn't remember this conversation. Well, it hasn't happened before. Huh. Big enough dose will do that, I guess. Yeah, you can say that again. She looked around the swirling, endless clouds in which she stood, as if she too were new to this place. And then she looked back at me and said, "What are you doing here, Mark?" I don't know where here is, Jess, so how can I possibly answer that? I think you do. Maybe I did. So, I'll ask again. What are you doing here? What led you here? You did. I did? You want to explain that one to me? I don't know. You were gone, so I followed you here like I always do. You didn't always do that. You had a life of your own once, Mark. It was good. It was rich. You had a future. Why are you here? I wanted to see you again. Is that such a crime? Well, here I am. Was it worth it? It's always worth it. Not even you believe that. This isn't you, Mark. Why didn't you just say no? Because I didn't, okay? It was offered to me, and I was still reeling from losing you, and I made an impulse decision. But this stuff is different. It's not just a physical high, Jess. It brought you back. It brought back everything I loved about you. One hit, and fuck, we were right back on the road again, with the windows down and the music blasting and the sunset coming up over the hilltops. And we didn't know where we were going, and we didn't care. As long as we were going there together, for a few hours every day, everything was okay again. How could I say no to that? It brought me back, did it? Yes. Did it bring back the first fight? What? Our first fight. Remember that one? Do you remember me throwing your econ textbook at the fridge and knocking down the magnets with a little dog on it? Or you just storming out while I sat on the couch and cried? Did it bring that back? No, I don't think it did. Maybe. Did it bring back the time you hinted that you didn't like my new haircut and how I gave you the cold shoulder for like 3 days straight? No. Did it bring back the time we had that stupid fucking fight about Jack Lemmon? Yes, it did. And it wasn't a fight. That was the day you said you loved me, Jess. I remember, and I was so happy you said it, that I allowed us to watch the movie even though I wanted to watch Mulholland. You said it first. What? I love you. You said that first, not me. At the bakery by your apartment. You said it. And I was so nervous that I didn't say it back until the next day. I texted it to you. I said, "Hey, I love you too." And you wrote out this little novel about how scared you were that you'd said it too soon, and that you almost wanted to take it back so you wouldn't scare me away. Remember? Yeah. And we watched Mulholland that night. Shit. She was right. We did. Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yep. But your little drug didn't bring that up. I guess not. Did it bring back, say, my loud chewing? You always made a point to mention it. I never had a meal after that without being self-conscious about how loud I chewed. Did it bring that back from the dead too? No. Or how fidgety I was. I could never get comfortable. Remember? Jessie, go to sleep. Stop moving so much. If I had a fucking nickel. What's your point? My point? Mark, I'm a human. A fully fleshed out, actual person. Not just an idea. Me, with all my flaws and all my imperfections and my quirks and hopes and dreams. You want me to believe a fucking drug fleshed me out like that? It's a drug, Mark. It's not magic. Well, whatever it did, it was enough. Well, it shouldn't have been. Don't you get it? You shouldn't be able to just bring someone back like that. I'm more than memories, Mark. You, of all people, should know the difference between loving me and loving the idea of me. I mean, fuck. What does it say about me? About us? that you could just conjure up one good rose-tinted memory and be satisfied? You said yourself it brought back everything I loved about you. Not everything. It didn't. I said it brought you back. You said both. And then we found out it didn't even do that right. Don't do that, Jess. Do what? That. Don't you fucking dare insult me by implying that I didn't love you the right way. I'm a sick, wrecked bastard, but if there's one thing I did right in all the time I knew you, it was love you so much that it spilled over and I loved everything and everyone else more because of it. And when you died, Jessie, I destroyed myself just to catch a fleeting glimpse of a shade of you. And I didn't run away from the pain. I owed it to you to stay, to learn that pain inside and out, to let it roll over me in waves and fucking ruin me as a man until I couldn't recognize myself anymore. I owed you that much. And if that's not love, then I don't know what is. We sat down on the edge of a cloud and looked out over infinity together. She put her head on my shoulder and then said, I loved you too. You loved me? Yeah, I loved the man you were. The man I was? I'm the one who's still here. No, you're not. This isn't you, Mark. It's not. And you know that. I think a part of you died that night, with me, out there on the road. I looked at the tracks on my arm. She was right. I hated it when she was right. I know you hate it when I'm right, but I'm right. All the same, aren't I? Do you recognize yourself? No. Do you recognize your own thoughts anymore? You're a dead man, Mark. Palm of my hand. No. Do you think that's what I wanted for you when I was gone? No. Is it what you wanted from me? To be tortured over your death? To think, fuck, if I'd only done this or that, I could have saved him? No. She took my hand, for real this time. I felt life again. It had been so long since I'd felt alive. How did you do that? Do what? That. After everything I did, it was you who brought me back to life. How did you do that? I don't know. It only ever worked with you. And that says something, doesn't it? Maybe. Maybe it means I'm still down there somewhere. I hope so, Mark, because I haven't fallen out of love either. Really? Really? We sat there for a while before she said, Can you do something for me, Mark? I'd do anything for you. You know that. Can you let me go? I thought you said... I did. That's why I'm asking this of you. There might not be a happily ever after for us, Mark, but there's still one out there for you. And as your best friend, as your partner in crime, as your girl, I want more than anything for you to find it. I don't know if I can. Do it for me. She leaned in and kissed me. And it seemed like all the clouds and all the stars were falling into line. One last time. I felt a rush. I felt a heartbeat. And then I was gone. Hey! We got a pulse! I bolted upright and gasped so loud the EMTs stumbled back. Welcome back to life, Mr. King, one of them said. You overdosed on Opus. How long was I out? Out? You were dead. Blue in the face. No pulse. Dead. For at least 15 minutes. You're lucky your buddy Phil gave us a call to check up on you. I fell back to the bed. I felt terrible. A headache. Iron taste in the mouth. Parched. And bleeding. But I was alive for the first time in as long as I could remember. I signed the paperwork and checked out of the hospital when I could. And I took the long way home. I had no car. I had no money. No job. No savings. Nothing. And when I got back to my apartment, it was an absolute wreck. An empty one too. Everything was gone. The furniture, the bed, the TV, all sold or pawned for drug money. But I was alive, I had a future, and maybe, just maybe, Jessie was right. Maybe there was a happily ever after waiting for me out there, somewhere after all. And all I needed was to run up and seize it. The idea was new and weird and beautiful, and I thought, you know, I think I'll see where that goes. And I threw the needle in the trash.